Good morning, everybody. Spending a little more time in the Airbus H145, getting the autopilot control set up. This sucker is fantastic. Let me tell you what, it's all that. So I got my controls calibrated a little better. So this thing is absolutely wonderful to hand fly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift off and show you the modes that this thing can do. So right now we're flying by hand, so we'll lift. Okay, so I've got it by hand, so this is everything that's going on is me. So we can go forward, we can pull backwards, we can go left, and we can go right. We can go up, we go down, we can go left, we can go right. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is activate the hover control. So we go boom. So it's gonna be less than 20 knots. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, okay, let me find a target. Alright, so in order to activate hover mode, you have to be 20 knots or slower. So I'll just hit it right there. Alright, so now I've got the aircraft is hovering all by itself. So now I can slightly trim it. So if I'm drifting, I can just without moving the cyclic whatsoever, it's all done with the beep trims until I get aircraft position. So what I can do is I can go up, and I can go down. Okay, I go right, I go left. Okay, then I can trim forward for positioning. I can go left. So there is really no reason I can't hit a perfect target. So we'll get centered in the circle. That's called beep trimming. I can also trim the aircraft in flight. It's got, oh man, these helicopters are so freaking complicated on their autopilot systems. It's just incredible. Okay, so once we're centered over the target, no motion, I'm going to deactivate it. And then that's my control, and I'll set her down. Or I can do that in the hover mode. Pretty cool. So I went through the manual some last night and this morning and trying to understand the systems again. This is what I was trying to do in X-Plane with those helicopters and stuff, and it's really complicated. You really got to put some time in studying how to use them, how to set them up on your control. Like I say, I've got the Puma ProFlight cyclic and collective. Terminated their rudders, and I use my Brunner force feedback, so I get engine vibration through the pedals, plus I can adjust the stiffness and then throw. And it's really cool. So let's set GPS in. So next we'll be learning how to navigate. Let's see, man. we can turn weather off. Do that. That lets me see the topo a little better, and if I turn that on. Okay, so we're at TFFG. Let's go. I'll go out on the range. TNCM. TFFJ, so we'll go over there. Not a very long flight. So we are at TFFG, TNCM. Try to test the autopilot functionality again. Alright, so all we got to do is couple. Alright, so I've also got down here is the autopilot controls, so I can go into altitude hold mode and heading hold, and then I can control that with knobs. It's pretty cool. So what we'll do is we'll lift up, we can go to hover mode, irregardless of what position our cyclic is. It won't do anything until we do it electronically. So what we'll do is go up, flip to the right button, here we'll go. So we got a good lift. Okay, and then we'll do a little roll, turn to the right. Okay, we'll come off hover. My aircraft. We'll get up to about 2,000 feet. Keeping our power managed. You notice we got blue needles. We are on FMS driving our nav. We're going to head over to that island over there about 1 o'clock. Nice little helipad in there. Yeah, we'll just go to 1,000. So set our mark. So we'll come over right and we'll run on our course, and we'll give it to the autopilot. Okay, so it did a straight line from that airport over to the island, so we're just going to come over here and catch that. Have to get a little higher. Yeah, we can do it. We can do 1200. All right. So then I come over here and I can go to heading mode. Click that, and then altitude hold. There we are. 1400 feet. We'll take that. Now I've got control of the heading bug. We're going to fly over to our line. We're clear of any obstacles, as you can see right here in the red, and it's showing right there in the red. We're real close, but we'll clear that. So red is our altitude or above us, yellow's close, green is clear. To get a little closer to our course line, I'll kick it over into coupled mode, which should line up on the FMS, and that'll be our guide. So that's a real good start for learning the autopilot systems. Like I say, this thing, be right back. I'm back. A little bit of business on the phone there. All right, so there's our line. So let's couple. We've kind of overshot it. So now I'm coupled. So now the helicopter is going to take over, maintain our altitude. It should bring us straight on our navigation line. Which it has. There we go. Had them backwards. Okay, so I need to modify the flight plan. So we'll come in here and go to our map. Back out. You want to go there. TFFJ. So we're going to go back with the flight plan. TFFJ, which I might have inadvertently got incorrect. I'm going to go there. I want to be removed. Okay, want to go out to that island out here. Right over there. Back on our course line. So this side we have the elevation warning system on. This side we don't. Terrain avoidance. We can put next red on that one. Up on that one. Yeah, we need to do some fueling here real quick. Let's see, I should be able to come back in here and do it here. And fill her up. Fuel warning or what? I don't know where the fuel gauge is. There it is. So you got about 3 hours, a little over 3 hours of flight time in this thing, which corresponds to what I found out on the real one. Alright, so 13.5 nautical miles out from TFFJ. So we should be able to adjust altitude. Drop to 1,000. Sync up the heading bug. So if the wind indicator is showing correctly, we'll be coming in to the right side of the island, turning left, coming down the steep approach hill. At that point we'll be on manual control. Hardcore. Nice helicopter. Still got that anomaly going on from the reflections. Hopefully they can get that updated. A lot more to come on this thing. So when I was flying X-plane, I went and purchased some scenery for these islands, and it really totally changed your perspective on this. And you could fly this thing in X-plane, come over to this island, and go on YouTube and watch videos of aircraft flying in, and it looked, spot on. And then got Microsoft running and come over here, and its default scenery is actually better than the payware scenery for X-plane on this thing. Pretty incredible. I was flying around in Faroe Islands last night. It's really socked in weather, dodging mountains as you're going island to island over there, and quickly saw that I needed the autopilot set up correctly. But it was a lot of fun, and they got a lot of really cool helipads to land on over there, so I'll probably be doing some more flying over there. Had a couple of issues with the scenery, everything. The windsocks were doubled and everything, so I think I took care of that earlier. We'll go check it out later. So this is really nice. So when I fly this, I move my mouse over to my left side. And quickly saw that that's what I was going to have to do to fly this one. It's different than it. You're not using the actual VR controllers. You're using the mouse, which is fine. It's no big deal. But X-plane I like because you could get the controllers and actually go in here and manipulate the knobs and stuff like you were using fingers. But the issue with that is where you place that controller, and usually I put them right on my belt, right there on my legs, and then end up getting hitting the ground quite a bit. It's kind of tough. So we're just cruising at 100 knots, keeping everything normal, and the normal range on the two engines. It is two jet engines back there behind us. So next I'll start running through cold and dark starts and shutdowns. And then there's some more stuff here to read and understand. And I was watching them fly the real helicopter on YouTube. Several videos out there, really nice. And I'll tell you what, they nailed this cockpit. And the way the instruments, the displays are and everything, you kind of look at these and they kind of look kind of awkward at first, but then you get in the real one, it's the exact same thing. It's like, wow. Okay, so we're approaching. I'll go ahead at this point and kick off the autopilot. We're going to fly in manually, and we'll come into hover control and see if we can't do a on the dime landing. We're getting down closer to about 60 to 80 knots for the approach. So we'll go collective down and nose up to get slowed down. So they've got, I think, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 helicopters. One's the old bubble nose Bell, like in MASH. I tend to go for more of these high-tech helicopters. I like the automation. Could use just a little more pronounced blade slap for sure. Alright, so we'll descend to about 500 feet per minute, 60 knots. Right up ahead at the end of that, those structures on the right with the red roofs is a helicopter pad. Looks like we're going to be pretty much nose into the wind. So dropping that altitude, we'll get that nose down. Under 20 knots, we can go into hover mode. We'll go ahead and take the runway approach here. Then once Microsoft begins the support of helicopter stuff, I'm sure we're going to get a lot of new fun stuff to do with helicopters. I should just land this manual, but we'll test the auto hover. Get over our spot. I could just bring that in by myself. Alright, hover control activated. Alright. Trim out. Down. Now, it's not letting me deactivate. There we go. Okay, so what it is I got a three-way switch that allows all my buttons to be assigned 3 different times. So I got to make sure I got that switch in the proper position. So now I can come back and I can activate auto hover and then deactivate it. So we're safe on the ground. Nothing's going to take off and run away. Pretty spectacular. I hope you enjoyed that. And I'll get this video up as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.